in there. All right, looks like we're good to go. We'll be in a minute. So, got need calipers to make this happen tonight. I need to turn off my alarms, all my notifications. Okay. Calipers out. All right then. So tonight, what I plan on doing is let me just move. Where's this at here? Hey, Derek, how's it going? All right, so that's working now. Hey, Gunner. Oh, yes, there it is. Okay, so tonight what I'm doing is I need to design something. So recently I'd gotten a Ryobi Shop Vac because the concrete in our walls here is very, very fine and it is mucking up our Dyson cordless vacuum. So we got the Shop Vac to be able to do more projects and things like that. And I want to have something that's better for when we are mounting stuff. So on the Dyson, make sure see if I have one real quick. I do have it. So I've got this thing here. So this actually is printed. How did this end up being printed? I think it printed, yeah, printed actually like this. But what the function of this is you put it on your wall, and then you have a hole there that you drill through, and then the vacuum, it catches everything and sucks it out. So I don't know if I want to exactly try to recreate this, or I had another version that was round. Um, but now I'm thinking about it. I think I'm just going to go and try to recreate this. Now I could go and find the STL and try and do it that way, but I'm not going to. I'm going to try to do this on my own just for some practice. It's always good to practice with design just so you can learn new things and hone your skills a bit better. And that's kind of why I've been doing a lot of these design things, especially on some of the Saturday night hangouts. It's just, I'm going to hang out, answer questions if anybody has any, and then I'm going to try and design something. So we're going to try to do basically that, but I'll make it fit. This is one of the hose pieces or the extensions for that. And obviously that doesn't worky. So we'll work on the basic structure first, the basic tube of it, get it to where it'll fit this, and then we'll work on that upper part. Sorry, I was getting a little away from the microphone there. Okay. So, and hello, Louis. How you doing? So yeah, that's what we're gonna do first. So, do a sketch here, and we're gonna measure pipe, which is exactly 44 millimeters. So I'm gonna go 44.5 because it does have a bit of a, does it have a taper on it there? Yeah, it goes up to 45. Very top is 44. So we're gonna do 44 and a half, I think. So let's switch over to here, see what I'm doing. So we're gonna do 44.5. Okay, and then the walls, the wall of this is 3 mil. I think it's the same on this guy here. Yeah, 3. So we'll do another circle of 47.5. And there's our basic, what's going to be the tube. And I can extrude this up and let's see. Just going around this, it has to be 24. Let's do 120 just to make up a number. Why not? So now this looks like it's at a 45-degree angle. So that's what we're going to do here. So where's my, why can't I see my grid? There we go. I like seeing the grid so I can see things. So we've got our circle here. Now we're going to create an offset plane. So we're going to do an offset plane from here. But I'm going to need to angle it. Plane at an angle. There we go. So we're going to select this here. Nope, I need to select this one down here. So construct plane at an angle, this guy here, 45. Okay, but I would like to move that. Can I move that plane? Doesn't let me move it. Could always just do this. Just move the body down. Yeah, we're just going to move the body down right there because I want that plane to be near here. So now we're going to construct on that plane. Now I got to figure out how exactly I'm going to make this thing. So it's a kind of diamondish shape. So I think we're just going to do square and then, or rectangle, and then I'll just re-angle it. So let's just go some nice round numbers, 50, and well, actually I can measure this one. This one's pretty good size. So the inside is 57, 57. What is a square, I guess? Corner to corner is 70 by 80. Interesting. It's 50 by 60. That's what it is. That's what I just did, 50 by 60. And then I want to see if I can we're just going to have to eyeball it. Or let's do this. Let's go back. Let's do a, no, I want to do, a sketch right on here. And we're just going to draw a line, middle, and finish that sketch. We're going to go forward to here. Now I can line that up with the center there, or at least close to it, like that. Oh, hey Jason, how you doing? Things are fine. It's pretty 50. Things have been pretty, pretty chill. Like that. This needs to be 60. So it lines up there, to here. We can delete all that. Oh, that's wrong. This needs to be 50, not 45. There we go. Down a little bit so it pops out there. All right. Oh, I screwed that up. Delete that. Here to here, 60. Right there. And there to there should be 60. Why is it not? Because my planes are off. That's why. There it is. Okay. Whew, that took that took too much time. Okay, so we've got basically that's our inner shape we want. Now we're gonna do a offset of we'll do 2 mil like that, and that is the base of our wall there. First, we need to extrude this and cut that all away, although that's not centered. Let's try that now. Extrude this. There we go. Wait, where did that go? Sketch. Turn sketch back on. Okay. So we've got that cut away now. So now we can do, we'll have to do another cut later. But we're going to make this bottom 2 mil thick. Join, that's fine. Like that. And then we want this to be, how deep is this? 14 millimeters. Like that, shabam. Now that's what I am concerned about. That is too low for where that needs to be. Because I need that hole to be right at the bottom. Let's undo that. Let's go. Let's undo the cut. No, wait, go forward. Yeah, because our cut is too low. So let's go into here. And we're going to move this up a fair bit. Or maybe it's at more than a 45-degree angle. It's really hard to tell. I don't have an angle thing. I really need to tell me. Oh, I guess I got. I'm using my, what's that called? The graduated square, whatever it's called. That tells me it is 45. So we know this is 45. Just got to figure the rest of this out now. All right, so maybe it just needs to be bigger because this is a much bigger pipe. So I could always make this 60 by 70. That is all off kilter now. We're just going to have to do that all from scratch now. And So 45 degrees, and we're going to do 60. Take this straight across. Do a line from here up. I'm going to use this 60 to there. Now we're going to go here. We're going to do 70. And from there to there is 70. Okay. Maybe that'll work better. Offset all of this to be 2 mil. I think that ended up working out. So we're going to extrude all of this to cut away. Extrude this 2 mil. Extrude this 15. Why does that? There it is. Okay. There it is. I think I need to bring it down just a smidge more. I'm trying to get that to marry up, but I don't really have to because I can just extrude that up to join. It's going to get kind of funky there, I think. But overall, if I take the 2 of these, yeah, it's right about where I want it to be. Yeah, that'll work out. All right, so let's do that then. Let's extrude this and this. We're doing this 2 sides to the sky, all the way down. And then when I bring this up, like that, I can tell this to join. I can just delete that face, and we're getting there. We're going to extrude this one, up to like there. Nope, nope, wait. Do an extrude, not a cut, please. There. Join. Now I can just delete that, delete that, delete that. Why are you being so funny here? Why are you being so weird? Ah, there we go. Now it's looking like we want it to. Turn that off. Now we can see it's exactly what I want. The hole is right there at the bottom. So I might, and actually this sucks because I just got that, but it might not be big enough up here because the hole in this one is 30 mil. So if I do a, I guess I can do 25. It's not a big deal. But let's try and find some assimilation of a center point right there. And I'm just going to move it down. No, don't do that for stuff. Construction line, please. Oh. There we go. And we'll do like right there, should be good enough. like that. So whenever you hold it against the wall, like so, you drill through that. And that should give me, that's more than enough clearance with the 45-degree angle. That's more than enough clearance for the drill to be able to easily make that. With it against the wall, I can do it like that. Not a worry there. So that'll be okay. So now, let's do a couple of things. We're going to do a chamfer inside here. That just keeps the dust from getting the corners. 1 mil chamfer in there. And then we're going to give all of this, let's do a sketch here. Offset all of that. I'm going to give it a 2 mil lip. Like that. Just makes that a little bit fatter. We're going to keep the inside edge sharp because I want that to be nice and sharp against the Oh, nice, David. You finished an Ultra Magnus build. That is awesome. Make sure you post on the cult page for Aaron that you printed it. Post some photos on there because I know he loves seeing all the different when people build the stuff he makes. Now we're just going to do a couple fillets on the outside, some fillets on the inside. Just going to do these sharp edges here. Do 3 mil there, and then actually, I'm going to move this chamfer to the end. I'm going to roll back and add a fillet up here. Like that. Okay. Now, roll the chamfer, and that's better. But if we're going to do that, let's also fillet these ones in here too. Just trying to make sure that stuff does not get caught anywhere. That chamfer, there it is. Perfect, perfect, perfect. We're going to add another chamfer on this outer edge here. Then I want to just round off the whole top of this. Like that. Don't like sharp edges. But at least the inside, like, face of it is nice and flat. And that way we'll get maximum suction with the Shop Vac. The hole is plenty big for that. And yeah, printing this like this shouldn't really be a problem. My only concern, because I made the whole thing 3 mil, so it'll be pretty doggone stout. No doubts about that. But the inside of this is 27. The outside is 40. Cannot be right. That's a 13. It's a 6.5 mil wall. It's a 6.5 mil wall at the upper edge of this. So I'm wondering if I just limit the inside diameter a little bit to increase um, the suction pressure. It is a possibility. Oh, what do you guys think? Think that'll work out? Just debating if I should make this a little bit thicker to make it a little more stout. But that would change a whole lot of the dimensions if I did that. I don't know if I want to limit the inside at all, because it would make it more focused. So right now that's 44.5. So if I did 35 and then I would extrude two sides, take that up to like there, do this like, let's see, so that's 0, 30, how much on here is it going to be? It's going to be about 20 mil on the actual thing. So if we do 30 like that, just delete that face. I need to fix the bottom. Figure that out in a second. And this would just be big old fillet. Or I would do it as a chamfer. I think a chamfer would be better. So if we do chamfer here, that's 4.5. Nope. That's as big as they can do. That'll make that all the same there. Now up here, it's not what I want. But if I can extrude it just down, please turn like that. There we go. If I do it right to there, then I lose all that up top. It just breaks all of my bit there. No, I'm not going to make it thicker. We're just going to try it like this because or we could try one other thing. Let's just save this first. So we're just going to call this drilling attachment. Let's go way back. Back to the beginning. So I said we're going to do, we're going to do 35, finish sketch. So before we go any further, let's do an extrusion. So let's take this all the way to the top. We're doing 2 sides. Take that up 35 mil. Now we'll add the chamfer on in here. So what I say was 4.8 was best it could do, 4.7. Yeah, just delete the ledge. Like that. Now, let's go to the end and see what happens. Wow! We've got problems. All right, so this next one is where things go haywire. So let's check this. Where's the sketch at? Okay. Next. All right, now let's continue along and see if anything else breaks. Yep, that broke. Okay, so that one. Let me just do this myself then. That and like that. These 2 little wing dings here, like that. Okay, so now continue along. Okay, let's just delete that chamfer because that one didn't do a whole ton. All right, so some things broke. So the outer fillets worked, but the inner ones did not. So let's fillet that, that, like that. Those chamfers work. Now I just want to make, let's go to this sketch here. We need to do an offset of that outer profile. It's that, there we go. 42.5 this time. Finish that. Extrude is that. Okay. All the fillets. So set this back to 0. I can select my 3 outer corners here. Set that back to 3 mil. I need to do that chamfer back now. Just this weird face there. Whoa, I didn't want to do that. Oh, that's so weird. Why is it doing that? That's not what I wanted you to do. Why'd you do that? There we go. Like that. And then we can fill at that bottom. Oh, hang on a second. Let me just reply this message real quick. So now if we do fill it here, but then we lost the join. Why am I losing it now? Stop deleting that face. Still have this here. Arg. That's not what I wanted. It's so hard with, I mean, if I'm gonna throw color on this, that might help a little bit. Make it blue. Yeah, it doesn't help at all. Let's try yellow. Let's try light color. No. Just give me what? There we go. Okay. It's this phantom. All right, let's just leave that off. Let's just redo that part. So let's just create a new sketch here. Let's just do an offset of it, 2.5 mil. We're going to extrude this -2. And we're doing this as a join. Oh, that's what that is. That's fine. Now can I put this fillet back in? I think that'll be better. Let me go back to where this. Pull that down a little bit more. Actually, let's pull down a fair bit more. Let's up to the 30 because I think I have the space now for it. Oh, that's too low. Can't do that. Higher. Let's do a happy medium. 28. Okay, that's better. That should work out. One second. Okay, I think that's on half bad now. I mean, the test is going to be once I print it to see if it even fits. But the nice thing is that it should be easy enough to change just the first sketch, the diameter of that first sketch. Hey, Viking, how you doing? And by doing that, things should be fine. Really want to put this filler back on. Make Aaron happy with all my fillet techniques and all the fillets I put on things now. I blame him for all of it. But yeah, I think that will work out well. Oh, hush, cat. It's just me and the cat. Good gravy, is he just driving me crazy. Yeah, so I think we can here. Save this. This is version 2, so at least I can go back to version 1 if I want to. Save as mesh. And throw it on the desktop for now. Desktop. That. Just like that. If I want to do, what do we do? What are our print settings here? What are we doing? 3 printers is fine. Slice and dice. Yeah, it should be able to do this. No support should be needed because we're at 45 degrees. And this is pretty thick there, so that should work out. It's a 6-hour print. So what I might do is just add a base, just because this, I'm printing this on the J. Aurora, this guy right here. I'm still testing it. I'm gonna try to finish up that review here soon. But so let's do 0. We want to do 10 loops. 1 height is fine. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, Gunner's back in the States. There we go. I head back next weekend. Hoorah! I'll go on vacation for the next month. So I am excited for that. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good, um, you know, replication with a little bit of changes, but I think it's a pretty good make of something. Well, this is something that's been on the list for a while, Gunner. Just now I have the time to hang out and do it. So let me go get the SD card. We can print this. I do wish this printer had a larger nozzle though, because at 0.2, it just takes forever. I would much rather print this on Bumblebee, the BLV MGN Cube, but I've realized, well, not realized, but kind of found out that the power supply is not really doing great anymore. So loud. Um, so I ordered a new 600 watt Meanwell for it. It's running on a 500 watt Chinese supply one right now. So I switched it out to a 600 watt Meanwell in hopes that that will help. I have debated on maybe trying to switch this over to 220 volt and seeing if it works any better, because all power runs better at 220 volt. Even these AC to DC power bricks, when they take 220 down to 24, it's better than taking 120 down to 24. It's more efficient, per se. So I'm wondering if that will end up working, but it's really hard to get to that. And I would also switch the 5 volt, because there's two power supplies in that printer. There's a 5 volt and a 24 volt. And the 5 volt is to supply all the 5 volt gear in there, because it's easier to do that. There's a 5 volt one, right? Or is that on 12 volt? Can't remember if it's 5 or 12, but it's running a lot of the smaller electronics in there. Might be 12 volt power supply, but real small one to run like the BL Touch and things like that at 12 volts instead of 24. Yep, I think that'll do well. So yeah, that was really what I wanted to do. That took me how long? How long did that? 47 minutes now. So it took about 40 minutes to build that, to design it. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. So I think it will hopefully work out well. But yeah, because the vacuum only comes with this, which you can see it's all dirty because our wall, the brick here is red. So the wall kind of like bleeds when you drill it. It's pretty hilarious. But it only came with this and like one of those like 8-inch wide ones. So yeah, I hope that this will end up being good, because how wide is this one? Because this thing on there, this narrows down quite a bit. When that neck's down, let me look. So this is 50, and it necks down to 35. And then inside, it steps down quite a few times. See in there. So it steps down. You can see the different step downs. So it steps down from basically the coupler down to the actual nozzle, and then it thins as it reaches up to this part here. So it's interesting, because that's how you get that higher suction pressure by necking it down a little bit. But I necked this one down to 35 millimeters, so hopefully that will still work out well. Who knows? Who knows? And I hope that this is not too sharp when I neck it down right here, but you can't see that. So this right here, I hope that's not too sharp. I mean, there's a way I can make the chamfer. Right now, the chamfer is uniform at like a 45. You can always change it so it makes the chamfer less extreme going up. Let me pull up. Should I do that? So where did I do that? It's this guy right here. Yeah, so if you do this, I can change this to 2 distances, and I can drag this down more like that. And that just makes that transition, instead of being like this right now, it gives a much better airflow pass. Probably have to leave it like that. But it does make me wonder if I need to make the base even thicker. I guess we'll do the first bit. I might actually stop the print after the first, I don't know, maybe half hour. Once it just prints up. See, does it give? It doesn't. I don't think it gives you a time at a point. It doesn't. So once it got to like here, it gets past that neck point, I might just stop it here and then see how it fits onto here instead of printing the entire thing, because it's just a huge waste of, I mean, we're using 75 grams of filament to make this. So it's costing me $2 to make it, which is not bad, but it would still be nice just to see, just to make sure that it fits before I put a whole bunch of time into this print. So yeah, that was pretty successful. I will say last week was super successful with all the Clipper thing, and all the Clipper machines are now up to date. I went into each one. Let me pull up a new window here. Wait for it to load up. Come on, Teletrain. There it is. All right. So, yeah, I went through and updated all of them. So if I go to settings all the way down the bottom, they're all fully up to date. The OS packages are up to date. Well, this is just main Teletran now. Oh yeah, Teletran was not updating. So this one I might end up redoing, which is super simple because all I do is a name change and put the password on it. There's no actual Clipper configuration to do on it. But I do remember when I was trying to update this, it's just, yeah, it just flat out fails. So I think I'm going to redo Teletran. But I think all the other ones are good. I don't know who else is online. Not all the printers are online right now. But I think all the rest are good. Yeah, and the one issue I was having was with Bumblebee, the um, what's called is not resizing. I sadly don't have it powered on right now, but it's an 8 gig, or was an 8 gig SD card, but it was filling the whole thing up. You can see this one's only using 5.1 gigs on Ultra Magnus. What's Fastlane? I know Fastlane's online. This is online. I think that's it. Nemesis is online. Let's see what Fastlane says. Fastlane's only using 3.8 gigs. What's Nemesis doing? This is fluid, Jason. So all of my custom printers run a firmware called Clipper. So if you're unfamiliar with that, it is just another firmware like Marlin or RepRap firmware. And I'm controlling all of them through a Clipper runs on a Raspberry Pi, which you hook up to your printer. And then it basically tells your board what to do. Your board doesn't do anything. Your actual 3D printer, the actual like SKR or whatever it is you use, doesn't actually do anything. It just doesn't do any processing. It just takes commands from Raspberry Pi, which is a much more powerful computer, tells it what to do. It can make your printer run faster, smoother. You can get a lot more out of it. Kind of can squeeze that extra. It's like putting racetracks on something, makes it faster. No, it actually does. You can definitely, it's a lot more tuning you can do, but I can edit all of my printers from this single interface here through Teletran1.local. All my printers are named after Transformers, both Autobots and Decepticons. But I can just go through and edit all of them. I can change my firmware right on the fly. This is the firmware for the printer right here. So it's very cool. So it works out well for me because I have, 7 custom built printers now. I really like having Clipper on all of them. But, see, even like all of them, they're all using the same 8 gig SD card, but they're all at different levels. And again, for some reason, Bumblebee is maxing out, and it's supposed to auto expand, but it's not doing that. So I haven't really finished looking into it yet. There's no updates. It's up to date. Maybe there is an update. I mean, I probably won't update again for a while because it just breaks things. So I'm using, Jason, you talk about Octoprint and Marlin. So I'm using Octoprint on my Mark III's, my actual original, Prusa original Mark III's. And that's working out well. I only use Octoprint on it because I use the palette, the Mosaic palette 2S on it. And I send all my prints that way. But this is all 100% wireless control of all my printers as well. Um, so um, it's very nice to be able to just, when I in Prusa Slicer, I just get a little icon here. It just says send to printer. It's off to the printer, and I don't even have to go to it. It just starts printing. All right, so you're asking the difficult question. How is Clipper versus Marlin? Um, Marlin has better documentation, no doubt about it, and it is a little bit easier to be able to read through. Here's how I've said it in the past. So you have Marlin, RepRap firmware, and Clipper. Okay, Marlin is Windows. Okay, it's the most common, it's free, it's easy to get, anybody can have it. RepRap is like having Apple iOS. Okay, super flashy, but it's its own thing that only works with it by itself, and it's off on its own. And then you have Clipper, which I say is Linux. It is extremely powerful, but you have to know how to use it. Um, so, and because it is kind of programming in a sense. When I say programming, it's you kind of have to know a little bit about how to code it all. Like there's plenty of examples out there on their GitHub on how to actually do it. The pins are already defined for most all the common boards out there, unless it's something brand new, but they usually get on it pretty quick. But like you have to know, like you individually set all the settings for your steppers and your drivers, all the pins and everything is set right here in this section. So all of this is for your X. Then right here is all for Y. You know, so it's kind of programming because you kind of have to learn the language that it's doing. You have to learn what the options are that it wants. Now, it does give you hyperlinks now to all of this. And here is everything that you want to put in there is in there. If it's missing, the nice thing about Clipper is that if I take out, I'll take out this real quick on Nemesis. I'll comment that out. Save and restart. It's going to yell at me and say, hey, option end stop pin in section stepper Y must be specified. Hey, that's a great error code. It tells me exactly what I need to look at. I re-enable that, save and restart, and it's done. Now, this is me updating the firmware in seconds. If this was Marlin and there was a problem, you would have to make changes in VS Code, recompile the firmware, get your SD card out of the printer, bring it over, put the new firmware on it, delete the old one or make the old one .old, .old 1, .old 2, put the card back in the printer, reboot the printer, and then the firmware will take. And then you hope that everything works. But I mean, if an axis is moving in the opposite direction, if your end stop's not working the way it should, you don't have to mess with cables. You can make an instant change in Clipper and it updates it right away. Now, RepRap does the exact same thing. It's Wi-Fi enabled, especially if you're using a Duet Wi-Fi, which is the most common one to use RepRap with. But yeah, I mean, it's very nice to be able to make those changes right off the bat. Again, if I want to hit print, I literally just hit the print button, and it's off. All the jobs I have ever sent to this printer are right here. This is a brand new build, Nemesis. I just converted to Clipper 2 weeks ago. So I've only done some test prints on it. Haven't done anything serious with it yet. But you got temperature graphs. Again, it's a very, very powerful firmware, but it takes some learning. If you look back at my old live streams from last year, when I was working on, I think Megatron was the first printer that I had put Clipper on. And it took some learning. Thankfully, folks in the Discord are extremely helpful. I have some of the Volron team is in there, and then just some general programming people who have either worked with it before or just know it or know how to do programming, and they were able to help me through a lot of my questions. And I liked it so much, again, I went ahead and converted all of my custom printers. So I've got Nemesis, Fastlane, Hound, Optimus Prime, Megatron, Ultra Magnus, and Bumblebee is under my desk. All of those run Clipper. As you can see, all of them are listed right here. So I can just click on a different one and just go to it. So it is cool. I like it. Took some getting used to, but hey, I'm just going to check this print real quick. So far, so good. It's print. Can't really ask for more than just to work. Oh, right. So, I know they were working on getting the palette to work with it. I don't know if that has happened yet. Because I know Clipper has its own, not really Clipper, Volron has its own multi-extruder color deal. It's called the Enraged Rabbit, right? Or is it the Carrot Feeder? It's either the Enraged Rabbit or the Carrot Feeder. That's what Clipper calls, or what Volron calls it. It's like MMU. Yeah, the Enraged Rabbit Carrot Feeder, ERCF. It's not two different things. It's the same thing. Let me show you here. So this is the Volron one of it. Oh, see, my kids are back home and they're watching. Hello, Madeline. So this is the Volron equivalent to the Prusa MMU. And now this does work with Clipper. Again, I know there was talks. I looked a while ago to see if the palette worked with it, and as far as I'm aware, it does not. But this is a fully 3D printable thing that you kind of have to make, and it can do really good results if you get it tuned and set up and all that jazz. I think there's one or two people in the Discord that have been kind of working on it or said they're going to make one. I've not seen any of that yet. That was my wife trying to call me. I told her I was live streaming because again, they're back home. But yeah, I've been debating on doing a carrot feeder, an Rage Rabbit carrot feeder, but I don't know. The tuning and everything that goes into it. It's like the Prusa MMU, or the MMU 2S. It just, I got it to work and it worked great for like 2-3 prints, and then it just was issued, constantly jamming, troubleshooting. I mean, the amount of hours that I lost trying to troubleshoot that thing. So I eventually sold it. Because I think it costs like $250. I sold it for $150 plus shipping. But yeah, it just was not worth it to have, and it was not worth the issues. The palette works great. I like using canvas. It works well for me. I know someone in the Discord right now is trying to find an alternative to using canvas or some other way to paint their STLs to be able to do multicolored prints. But again, I like canvas works fine for the simple things that I do, and I design my own multicolored prints. I'm not using someone else's things, so I can do all the bodies that I want to, and then I just have to color each of those in canvas, and it works out very well. But yeah, so that's Clipper and Changer and all that in a nutshell. But it would be cool if the palette would work with Clipper. But again, I don't really need it to because my Mark 3S works great. I just had to place the board on it, but it prints fantastic, and using the palette on it, I have very little issues. It always comes down to filament is my issue with the palette. Is if my filament's too crumbly, then yeah, I'll get some breaks in there as it's splicing, and then it fails. But that's not the palette's fault. That's the filament's fault. That's really been only my issue. I just make sure that I dry my filament very, very well before I start printing with it, and then usually it's no issues. Excuse me. Cat, what do you want? My cat misses the kids, and he bugs the heck out of me all the time. So yeah, that's really all I had for today, was to kind of work on designing that, and you know, again, if there's any other questions like that, otherwise I'll probably call it a night here soon. Got what I wanted done. Work on some other things here this evening. I've got 1 week left, then I'm on vacation, so I won't be any live streams after this one for the next month. But when I get back in August, I will start up the Saturday night live streams again, which I hope to continue stuff like this. I hope to continue either designing something that I've decided I need or want to practice with, or if I'm working on a printer, I'll save it to do it on the Saturdays. I need to get my butt to edit. I've got literally like 6 or 8 videos to edit that I'm just way too lazy to sit down and splice through because it takes hours to edit videos. So I just haven't really been up to doing that, but maybe I'll end up doing some of that this week. In the evenings, I'll try to edit some videos and get them posting this summer while I'm traveling, and that way there'll be at least some new content on the channel since there won't be any live streams. But I meant to put a plug in. I didn't even remember to start doing the plug for Discord earlier, but if you guys are interested, make sure you check the links down in the description. There's a link for Discord down there, so come over there, hang out with us. People post their projects, you have issues with your printers, talk about Clipper, Marlin, other firmwares, things like that, or if you just want to have someplace to hang out and chat with people. I try to go live on there every so often, kind of if I'm just like working here, I don't want to go live on YouTube, then I'll just go live in Discord, and usually people will end up popping in and chatting for, last time I was there with a couple people for a couple hours. Hey, Darren, how's it going? You're arriving at the end of the stream, my friend. But yeah, it's a good place to hang out. And then there's links for other Discords if you're having any specific issues, because like a lot of us are in either the Prusa Discord or the Voron and Clipper Discords. There's one for Fluid, which is the interface that I'm using to get into Clipper. There's Fluid and Mainsail. Most of us are Fluid people, but there's a few that use Mainsail as well, or some use both. So it's a good place to be. But yeah, I'm going to call it a night there. So I thank you guys for hanging out with me. It was a fun stream. It was good to get something done. I'll post probably in the Discord how this print ends up going. And again, I'm going to let it go probably another 15 minutes once it gets past that transition area where it necks down a little bit, to see how that fits, to see if the neck is too narrow or too steep, not steep enough. Because again, right now it's at a 45. I might want to make it a little bit steeper of an angle, and that way the air has a easier time to flow through to be able to work well. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. Check the links down below if you support the channel. Otherwise, I will see you all later. Happy printing. Have a good summer as well, because I won't be around. So see you guys.